On the 100th day of the Trump presidency, how are the voters who supported him in 2024 feeling so far? Theresa Albano is from New Jersey. She is a Republican. Dan Lienemann is also a Republican from Iowa. And PJ Dolan lives in Pennsylvania. He's a former independent who flipped Republican back in 2024. Thank you all for coming on. Theresa, to you first. I mean, so far you're happy with the job that President Trump is doing. Tell us why.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's beating, he surpassed Roosevelt's record for 99 executive orders signed in 100 days. Correct me if I'm not right on that, but I think he's at 147. Right. So I think that speaks volumes. I think he's getting, I don't know when he sleeps. He's just constantly, on the move. His transparency with the American people is admirable. I think that he is constantly asking questions. We're live in the Oval Office, and to me, that makes me feel secure. Yeah, just so we can kind of clear everybody up here, let's put this up on the screen. This is the big stat box, Trump's first 100 days. We've got executive orders. You were close, Theresa. It's 142. Biden orders reversed 100, and the bill signed into law is 5. Dan, to you now. You say the tariffs are worrying a lot of people, but really you think it's unnecessary. Why?
Well, I just think that as Trump makes things more of a level playing field, that you're going to see that other nations and the economy kind of pull in line together. I'm excited to kind of see the future and how that all plays out, but one step at a time. He's done great with the border, and I assume that he's going to do very, very well on the economy as well.
Yeah, I want to put these numbers up because these are the approval at the 100-day mark of previous presidents and the current president. You have Trump 2025 at 44%, Biden 54, Trump 45, Obama 62, Bush 63. You know, PJ, you think the first 100 days have been effective, but really here it's about the long game, which kind of brings me out of our graphic right there, because when you're playing this game of you got to be disruptive, you got to disrupt, you got to upset the apple cart to get some things achieved, it's not going to be pretty. It's the sausage-making factory in full swing here, correct?
Well, call me crazy, Trace, but maybe in a small little Irish bar, the common sense department is probably bigger than it is in D.C. And looking at the long game, I think a lot of people are worried about what's going on right now. But this man is a guy who's able to put things into effect, and he's got the cojones to get this done. I'm excited to see, just like Dan, I think that in the long game that these tariffs are going to work out. I mean, yeah. Why should we be spending more than any other country?
Yeah, listen, we first we need to get PJ a common sense mug, and secondly, I think you make sense here. Theresa, I want to go back to you because as you look at these approval numbers, I wonder if you think that it matters to a lot of people what people think for the first 100 days, or if, like PJ was saying, it's about the long game.
It is about the long game. I think that people get scared because of how transparent Trump is and because he's getting things done. We're not used to seeing that in the White House. And I think that scares a lot of people. But to me, I think we just hold on tight and we put our trust in him. I've been a supporter of him from the very beginning, and he's a businessman, and I trust that he is going to do right by the American people.
And I think the truth is, Dan, that you can say you agree or you disagree, it's right and wrong, but we have never seen anything like this, at least in our lifetimes, Dan.
That's correct. I've never seen a president come in and stir the pot as much as he has, and I think for the betterment of the entire country. I hope that the Congress gets together and passes that big, beautiful bill that Trump is wanting to have done, because I think that's going to give a long runway to the Republicans to get the economy back on the road. And it'll be to their betterment for the midterms. The faster they can get that on and let the economy start taking care of itself.
Yeah. I lastly went to a big event this weekend, and somebody in the know, somebody who's pretty well connected, told me that, Trump just needs a couple of victories to really change the momentum. Democrats need a long road to change their momentum. PJ, what do you think about that statement?
I agree. There's a lot of people that are very optimistic, which I didn't see in the previous administration. In the beginning, it was like that, but then it fizzled out real quick. And I think that how you voted is how you feel right now, especially economically. You're either really, really optimistic or you're a little bit guarded. I'm seeing that in my business. And tell you what, I'm optimistic.
PJ, Dan, Theresa, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.